Good evening, everybody. It is Monday night, January 22nd. We are coming to the end of the month. It is 8:30 on Monday night. We are getting started right on time, and we are going to try to keep this to our half hour as promised. So welcome, everybody. I hope you guys were on the leadership call that was right before this. It was really good, and got some great stuff out of it. But we want to welcome everybody for being here. I know Miriam Stovetsky could not be here tonight. She is on vacation with her family. There are a bunch of people out because it is vacation week in the New York area for a lot of the schools, for the Jewish schools. So they will catch this on the recording. But tonight we're going to be talking about how to end your month strong. We still have 9 days left in the month. It is not over yet, so we can do this. But first, before we get into our topic, we're going to open up to Debbie. Debbie, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, or I can unmute you. And hi. Hello, and give us a recap of what the notes, your takeaways, your top takeaways from tonight's coaches leadership meeting.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I feel like I'm doing the news. I'm like sitting here with my notes. So they had, I have to admit, I don't usually call into those support calls. So I don't know if they usually do this, but they kind of introduced new global directors and had them tell their stories and their action points. So there were, well, first it was Terry and David Gillitz, who were introducing Ray and Drew Lloyd. So they each had points. Okay, so these were my takeaways from Terry and David. Okay, so they were talking about that you have to touch your business every single day. They're very into their client support calls, that you shouldn't necessarily be texting. He said he doesn't text at all, which is interesting, but he said he makes sure to do his weekly client support calls every single week, even though he's a plastic surgeon. I'm assuming he's very busy. And he said to get out of your comfort zone, which a lot of them said tonight, and to have fun, which Dr. A really harped on. He was like, that's why we're here. Come on, let's have fun. Okay, so that was them. Then they introduced Ray and Drew Lloyd, who are new global directors. And so it was Ray who was speaking, and she said that, the one thing that really touched me about what she said was that she feels very strongly that she needs to be authentic, and that people aren't going to necessarily connect to us if we're just like reposting things from Agents of Transformation, or reposting things that our coaches posted, or like these little memes or whatever, things like that. She said, if you're authentic and people can hear your voice in what you're posting, especially on Facebook and other social media, then that reminds people that you're a nice person, and then they want to connect with you. So she was saying that she tries very hard to make her posts, even if she's taking posts from other people and she's doing the 3 and 3, she's making sure that her posts sound like her, that they're in her voice. And she said, just be a nice person and people will come to you. But she said authenticity is the most important thing. She also said, do it even when you're not in the mood, which kind of, I think I was hearing the things I needed to hear. So sorry if this isn't what everyone else needs to hear. She said, don't be afraid to live out loud, post a lot on Facebook and other social media. And it's about being a better person and bringing joy to people's lives. So I just liked that, I like it when people don't say, this is how you get people to lose weight. Like, people are just very like about, the whole person. Okay. Then the next person who spoke was a woman named Corinne, who was really touching and made Dr. A cry. She's a single mom. She, was on her last can of tuna, and she was about to be evicted from her apartment. And she started as a client. 2 weeks later, she went to convention. And 2 weeks after that, she was an executive director. An ED. So that was awesome. She said she just got the fire under her butt, and she was just going. Then that was for 6 years, and then her dad passed away. So she had a setback, and she said one day she was just sitting in her kitchen eating Oreos, and her son was like, don't you have a leadership call to be on? It was on Monday night. She's like, don't you have a leadership call to be on? So she realized that, she leaned into her team and rolled up her sleeves and decided she wanted to do this and get back to work. She said her son said to her, what would you tell me if it was me? So her takeaway points were: be coachable, evaluate your weaknesses and strengths so that you know what to do going forward, and believe in your work, and most of all, believe in yourself. And she kept saying, lean in, lean in. And then Dr. A, just to sum everything up, he said, never, ever, ever give up. That was his takeaway from Corinne, never give up. He said, we're one community and success is not always a straight line, which I liked. You know, everyone has their ups and downs and everything in life. So, and that's it. That was the call.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Debbie. You definitely, did an amazing job, and,
My pleasure.
And I'm sure that it sounds like to me, like you got so much out of it that, you're bound to be on the next call Monday night.
Oh, for sure. I'm so glad that I was asked to do this, because now I'm like, okay, I need to set up my Monday night so that I can definitely be tapped into that call. I really liked it. So.
Oh, excellent. Awesome.
And for anybody who doesn't know, there is a Goal Getters calendar that you can download the link from our Goal Getters page that will automatically put all these calls onto your calendar to remind you and block it off so that you don't block anything else in there. Because the Monday night call, if you weren't on it live, you can catch the recording and we will post that in Goal Getters when it's up. But they're really good and they're really beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So on to our topic for the evening, which is ending the month strong. A lot of people get to this point in the month when they say, oh, there's a week left. I'm sort of done. I'm where I'm going to be. But that is so far from the truth. So the first thing we really want you to look at tonight is on the beginning of the month, when we first started this, we had everybody write out their goals for the month. So hopefully you know where your piece of paper is where you wrote your goals out. So if you have those, if you can grab them really quickly and take a look at it. And I want to ask everybody, and we can't see everyone because we're on speaker view, but I'm actually going to change it over so I can see some more faces. How many of you who have your goals in front of you, how many of you have been looking at your goals on a regular basis? Okay, a few of you. And how many of you are close to hitting your end of the month goal so far? Or actually have hit your end of the month goal? Anybody? Is anybody close? Okay, so if nobody is close yet, we still have 9 days left to go. So a lot can happen in nine days. If you're thinking about it in terms of the month, that's really still a third of the month left. So this month is far from over, but we're now into crunch time. I look at crunch time anytime after the 15th of the month and on, and trying to get going. So we have for you 9 things to do in the last 9 days of the month to hit your goals, okay?
So we can either do one every day. Or we're going to present them all to you, but maybe we're going to also end with an activity which gets one of them down. So then we have 8 days, and if you even do at least one of these a day, that will definitely set you up for success. And I was just saying to, I think it was actually to Leslie, that my personal goal, I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to get it. It's like there's only a week left, and then I said to myself, there's 9 days left. I mean, a lot could happen in 9 days, and there's no way I am giving up because I just got started.
I can tell you that there was not long after I started as a coach, my husband and I were on a trip. It was the summer that I became a coach, and we were on a trip, and it was the last day of the month, and we went to a baseball game. We were in Tennessee, and we were at this minor league baseball game, and he watched the game by himself because I was off in the back of the stands on calls, signing up 2 new clients because it was the end of the month, and that's what I needed to do to hit my goal that month. And we joke about it constantly because that was the month that I think it was when I was breaking ED for the first time, maybe. And that was my goal for the month, and I was going to get it. And I didn't care that I was on vacation, and I didn't care that I was missing the baseball game going on. I have no idea who won. But that's what we remember from this trip, was that I spent that evening on the phone signing up my last 2 clients because I was determined to make that end of the month goal. So it's doable. Until 11:59 Pacific time on January 31st, you've got to hit your goals. So let's get there. Let's start taking some of these action steps. You want to start with the first one?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first one is to share on social media. And when I mean, share on social media, in different forms. You could post before, and I would recommend changing your profile picture is, one way to do it. Putting up, before or afters, and just also letting people know that you're a health coach, even though it's obvious to you, it may not be obvious to other people, but don't only post things about you being a health coach, because we want to, vary the posting so that, maybe one post is about a health coach, another post is about your dog, another post is about your kids, whatever, just to, show that you're a well-rounded person.
But one of the things with showing that you're a health coach you might want to ask a friend to take a look at your page, or your coach, or somebody to look at your page and say, if you were to look at my page and not know what I did, do you know that I'm a health coach? I actually have a coach on my team who we did this with just recently, and it was really helpful because she kept saying, I don't know, I can't get clients, I can't get clients. And we said, well, who knows that you're a health coach? And she said, well, I put it out there, and we went and looked through her posts, and she had 4 or 5 days of things that there was nothing related to Optavia at all. If I had just scrolled on her page, I would have had no clue that she was an Optavia health coach. I would have had no idea. And she's a very good coach. And so that was one of the things that we started working with her on, is that, every day, if you're posting 5 things in a day, 1 to 2 of those should be some sort of health post, whether it's a before and after, whether it's a healthy recipe, whether it is tips on healthy living. They shouldn't all be that way, because then people aren't gonna want it. This is about being social on social media. So you want to live your life, but really making sure that when somebody scrolls through your page, that it is obvious that you are a health coach. And I think it's great when people go and see your name and it says Optavia on there, but nobody outside of our world really knows what that means when it says Optavia. So maybe change that to health coach, or, mine says Getting Healthy with Leslie instead of Optavia. Something that makes it obvious that you're doing something with health, because outside of our world, unfortunately at this moment, that doesn't say much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. The next thing.
Yeah. The next thing is to consider offering somebody a scholarship. If you've got people that are on the fence of doing it and money is what's holding you back, potentially offer them a scholarship. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be something $25. I mean, knowing if you are coming in as a senior coach, you're making $50 off of your clients on commission. So to give half of that, you're still making some money, but giving a little bit of that to a potential client, sometimes that will get somebody encouraged. If you are higher than senior coach and you have more to give, you can give more to that. Someone who is an ED may opt to give $50 or $100. And that's really up to you. But sometimes that little bit of boost, that financial boost is helpful. And if you're a new coach who's achieving your CAB, and you've got that extra $100, and if that makes you hit CAB, you can play with that, because getting these clients in that then will be paying full value the next month, you'll make that back.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it's not just like $25 at every month that you'll be parting with. I mean, it's just, the one time, the $25, but that client will hopefully continue, for the next month. And it's really not like you've lost $25. It's that, you gain, you're reinvesting it in gaining, a new client, that you can help get to goal. So that's great. Also, an idea is maybe having your clients share on social media their story. And I know personally, like, a lot of my clients don't want to, they're shy, or, they're not comfortable sharing their story yet. But perhaps, like, what I found helpful and an idea is maybe share, give them an incentive to, like, want to share their story, because, sometimes they're just afraid, and sometimes they're just not comfortable. They're not used to living out loud like we as health coaches are used to living out loud. So maybe, offer something like, put some wellness credits in their account. I like the idea of wellness credits, because that's something that, they can use towards, food for the client. And, it's an incentive for them, but it's keeping it within your business.
Right. The other thing is offering, if you have current, for those who pass senior coach, offering referral credits. We always offer $25 referral credits to all of our clients, but maybe offer double referral by the end of the month. We have a lot of people who set New Year's resolutions at the beginning of the month and said, I'm going to get healthy this month. But then they said, I'm going to try it on my own. Yeah, I can't even tell you how many people I heard, I'm going to try it on my own. Well, what I saw last year is January 1, everybody said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to try it on my own. And then come February 1, they all start saying, yeah, I tried it on my own and it didn't work. And they came back to me. So we're almost to that point where people are starting to say, yeah, I need something. So everybody knows somebody who set out to get healthy this month. And so offering your current clients a double referral bonus. Instead of $25, maybe $50 for every referral that they get. Sending out an email to everybody and seeing if they have any friends or family that might want to join them on this journey, that might be struggling in whatever their, I'm going to do it on my own kind of method was. It's not working, and now I need some help. So that was the next one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Maybe hold a trilogy call, get with your mentor coach, your business coach, and, maybe they can host a trilogy call, doing a share and going over, the plan with like people that, are not sure about
Right.
what way they will.
Right. And if you need help hosting a trilogy call, we can help you. Or you can reach up to your mentorship, and we can help put one together. And if enough people want it, maybe we can put one together that we can invite, multiple clients into. That would be something that we could consider doing over the next week. We've done them before, that we do it on a Zoom like this, which is nice.
Another thing we could do is host an event, like a healthy happy hour or some event, just because we had the Elevate Now event, some of us took advantage of it, but it doesn't have to be a formal thing like Elevate Now. You can create your own event, and definitely,
Right. A BYOB, bring your own lean and green kind of dinner night with people who might be interested in learning about healthy eating. Do we skip that one?
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing is, if you have coaches below you, so connecting and actually, even if you don't have coaches below you, connecting and exploring with current clients to see if they're interested in coaching. You can potentially offer them scholarships if they want, to get them started as coaches, because bringing them in helps you build up your business. For those of you who did not watch Miriam's explanation on the compensation plan, it was fantastic, and that will really explain to you how bringing coaches in underneath you can help benefit you and help bring you up. So reaching out to current clients who may be good coach potential, even if they don't see it yet. We should be figuring the 5-in-1 plan shouldn't just be for what we're eating. It should be pretty much within every 5 to 6 clients, we should have one potential coach in there. So really starting to dig deep into your client list and saying, who is a potential coach? Who can I reach out to? And who can we start that conversation with? And maybe you can get somebody interested by the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And then, is this where?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to the action part of the call, because, all good calls need action. Positive action. So
our last one is, we were talking about before that we all have people that we know that said to us at the beginning of the month, I'm trying this on my own. I'm trying this. I'm trying that. So what we want you to do right now is to make a list of 10 people that you have spoken to, whether it was this month or last month, sometime in the past, 10 people who were trying it on their own or who weren't ready yet. We're going to take a couple of minutes and let you guys sit here in some silence and come up and make a list of those 10 people who you need to follow up with, whether it's just checking in. I have a client who was starting Weight Watchers, and so she's on my list, and I'm going to go back and just say, how's it going? Those kinds of things. Check in with these people. So right now we're going to take a minute and let you make your list of 10. When you make your list of 10, sort of raise your hand and wave at us so that we know that to move on to the next action step.
Okay, let's get to work.
How are you guys coming on your list? Thumbs up if anybody's done. Got 1, 2.
No,
couple
we're
thumbs up.
just making a list. We're not calling anyone yet.
Not yet. Yep. No,
Yeah,
they're making
just
lists. You got a
making a
couple
list.
lists. How many have more than 10 on their list?
Awesome.
Okay, good. Good, good. Okay, so we're going to give you 1 more minute to add to your list. You can always keep doing this when we are afterwards. You definitely don't have to stop because we end this. Because we're going to go on to the next part of the action step. Should we go on?
Is everyone? I feel like people are still working. We'll give you 1 more minute. In the meantime, I can share with you that in terms of like following up, I used to have notes like all over, like, oh, follow up with this one, and post-it notes here and post-it notes there, of people that are, you know, didn't say no, but they weren't ready for whatever reason to start the program. So I assembled this binder, and I have like it all in one place, and it says future clients. A no is not a no. It's only a not yet. And I put everything in here, and these are all like the health assessments that I've done that for whatever reason people weren't quite ready, but then I know that they're in one place, and I designate every Friday for, let's say, follow-up Friday. And I go through the binder, and on Fridays, I will reach out to almost every person as much as time as I have in that Friday to block out. And I know that on Fridays, and it doesn't have to be Fridays, of course, it could be any day, but I know that on Fridays, I've reached out to all my not yet. So, and they're all organized in one place, and no more post-it notes, and that's all. Now we can start.
The other thing that I do when we asked at the beginning about how many people actually know where their sheet of goals are that they wrote at the beginning of the month. If you are not looking at your goals on a regular basis, then it's a waste of doing that activity at the beginning of the month. And if you're not looking at your goals on a regular basis and reminding yourself of your goals and touching on your business on a regular basis, then it's a waste of time. So actually I keep, and I'm not on my computer at home, I'm not on my computer now, but I have my goals taped to my computer so that I see them every single time I sit down in front of my computer, and I'm at my computer an awful lot. But they are there staring me in the face so that I can remember them and that I can know this is what I want, this is what I set for myself this month. So it's not, like I said, it's not too late this month. Pull those goals back out. Tape them up, put them wherever you have to put them, hang them on your refrigerator. Really keep your eye on them, because if you have your eye on those goals, it makes it much more of a reality to reach them.
That's a great point, Liz.
Okay, so we're going to go on with the last step. So now we all have a list of people that we need to follow up with. So we're going to take the next 3 to 4 minutes right before we follow up and start reaching out. I want everybody, whether it's Facebook, text messaging, whatever it is, and start and try to reach to 3 of those people in the next 3 to 4 minutes. So let's go and see how many people you can reach out to, just starting opening up another conversation of how are you doing?
Right. And if it's right, it doesn't have to be, a forceful,
Right.
just gradual, just to pick up the conversation where it was left off. And if you can get past 3, then push yourself to go to 5, and then maybe put in the chat,
How
many
put,
you got.
put in the chat how many people you've reached out to, and we're going to give it 2 or 3 minutes to do that because we're winding down on time.
Goes by fast.
Okay, so our time is quickly coming to an end. So push throw in the chat how many people you were able to reach out to in those few minutes. Let's start seeing how many people you were able to get to. 4, 2, great, 1, 4, good.
Excellent.
So we're making some progress reaching out to some people. That's really 3, yep.
I mean, any number is, better
Right.
than 0.
Right.
So.
This is just the first action step, and this should be going on every day now through the end of the month. And I'd love to open it up just for a minute or two. If anybody else has any things that they're doing that we may not have mentioned that they're doing to push through to the end of the month. Some things I know Rosanna's been going live a lot lately, and her lives have been awesome. So if anybody wants to share some other things that they've been doing, to help pick up their business this second half of the month, we'd love to hear from you. Oh, yay. And Debbie said she already got a response. Woohoo, that's good. That's good. Does anybody have anything to share? Any tips, any of their favorite end of the month tips or beginning of the month tips before we wrap up?
No. What about requests of what you guys would like covered in future Goal Getter huddles? Is there anything that you feel like you're struggling with or you'd like answers on, or just, brushing up on certain topics? Just put into the chat or unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. We'd love to hear.
Yeah, we'd love to hear.
Yay, Sandy also got a response.
Awesome.
That's good. We like responses.
Mm-hmm.
Rosanna?
I'll be brutally honest.
Okay, yeah, go.
Why not? What do I have to lose? Oh, okay.
Well, this is less to grow,
right.
Like we love.
Absolutely. Like, why am I gonna?
Definitely.
No, I think that the one thing that I really need to examine / work on as a group is how to be super authentic.
Very good.
I guess I'm just not a business person. So like I'm coming at this as, a client who wanted to help a couple people. So all of a sudden I'm a senior coach sometimes, not always, depends on the month and how many people are reordering and things like that, I haven't had a lot of confidence to like reach out. Like I try to live out loud as much as I can. I'll post on Facebook, my awesome dinners and things like that, or, I don't know, other things like that. I try to live out loud as much as possible. But in terms of like writing down names and like, I don't want to say forcibly reaching out to people, but just like being a little more aggressive in the way that the business kind of needs in order to grow, that's what I have a hard time with. And I totally understand that if I'm not coaching is the key to keeping weight off. And I totally get that. And I see how, from my leaders that's definitely something that I need for my future. If I want to have any, success in the long term, I really, really want that for myself. But I guess just in terms of trying to organically grow the business, but also like growing the business, does that make sense?
No, totally. And I'm not one of those, from personal experiences, like I did not enter coaching as a business. I really did it as a favor to help one person, and that person referred me, and that person, through referrals, really without me even doing very much, I was able to, grow it into a business. But then it kind of like was at that point where I was kind of like all in at that point, and I wanted to grow it more. But to this day, it is so hard for me. I mean, it does get easier, Debbie, like that's for sure. And like, it is outside of my comfort zone, and I'm not a big poster on Facebook. I mean, I never was. I literally had to force myself the first couple of times, even to do the Facebook Lives. I've done a couple, and I'm still working on myself. I'm a work in progress, but I see that when I do those things, and when I'm do those Facebook Lives, I don't like it. I do it because I know that it's necessary, A, to grow my business, but B, for people, for people to see me that I'm doing this, and I'm living, I'm living out loud. But I'm like, if I can inspire one person, to get healthy, then it was worth being uncomfortable. What could I say? I mean, it gets easier, if that's any consolation. And if I could do it, literally, you can do it. You just have to force yourself to do it. It doesn't always come natural right away. right? I mean,
Definitely.
Leslie's really good about it.
But it wasn't.
I mean,
it was
like
very
we're
hard for me.
talking, we have like, we may be wearing the same sweatshirt, but we're very different.
But
in
when I
terms of-
started, it wasn't. I had a very hard time living out loud in the beginning. I was very shy. I was very uncomfortable with it.
See, I didn't know Leslie that way.
I had struggled with my weight for so long and gone up and down and up and down and up and down again that so many times that I was afraid of, oh, people are just going to think, oh, she's doing some other crazy whatever. So it was really very, very hard for me in the beginning. I remember the first time I posted my first before and after, or before and current, because I was in the middle of the program. And I sat there and I typed it all up and I sat there and stared at it for probably about 20 minutes before I would hit post. And it was terrifying. Like, I felt nauseous before I did it. And finally I was like, I just have to do this. And even the first couple of times, and it definitely got easier. And it was really putting and outside of my comfort zone. The same thing, going live. Now I enjoy going live, but when I first started, it was nauseating. I would stare with my phone in front of my face, holding it, and just sit there and stare at it for the longest time before I would have the guts to do it. And it really took over and over and over just doing it and getting the positive feedback that I got. And even posting for a long time, when I would post other before and after pictures of other people and using the stuff through Cinduit or using whatever, I was always really nervous about it because I was like, what are other people going to think, and this, that, and the other. And I really learned that people are following it. People are watching it. People that don't want to see it, they keep scrolling, and that's fine. And they can keep scrolling. But so many people are watching and paying attention. And the people, I mean, I had somebody who, after I had the Cinduit campaign going probably for 6 weeks of every day a post of a before and after going, and the same couple of people would just like it or whatever. And finally I had somebody reach out to me and she said, I've been watching this for so long. She said, I'm really sick and tired of seeing all these people be successful and I'm not successful. I need your help. So, I mean, people pay attention whether they say anything, but if you stop posting it or if you let that fear drive you, then you don't know who you're missing out on. And it's the same with reaching out to people, starting conversations with them. It doesn't have to be, hey, you need to lose weight, so let's talk. It's just opening it up. I mean, I open up conversations with people that I don't really know, saying, hey, how do I know you? I'd love to get to know you better. Can we just, or go to their page and see something, hey, that picture of your child, it's so cute, he looks so cute, and whatever it is, and finding something that has nothing to do with weight loss or with healthy or with anything else, but to start that conversation and to try to get to know people as people. And then they'll start following your page. And if you're posting on your page, they're going to start to see those things as well. So it's really it is reaching outside of your comfort zone. And the things usually that are the most uncomfortable to do are the ones that we need to do the most.
Right. What they say? Get out of your own way.
Right.
And,
Right. Something that's easy usually isn't what we need to be doing. It's the things that are really hard. And I tell my kids that all the time, that when the things that they just really don't want to do, it's really what they probably should be doing. Mm-hmm. So on that note, because we are at 9:05 and we're over our time, we're going to wrap this up, but keep commenting, shoot us some messages for sure, either us or Miriam Stobetsky or, whoever, or your coaches, and let us know what else you want to hear in the Goal Getters, because we really are trying to create these so that they're helpful and help you get to your goals. But we've got 9 days left. Let's make this month strong. If you need help, we're here to help you. Your coaches are here to help, your upline is here to help you. And we all work together as a team. So let's make this good. Let's finish
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, it does. Have a good night, everyone.